What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode Out of My Element, where you guys get to pick the album that I review. And the winner of the poll for this video is Zelooperz, Van Gogh's Left Ear. So first of all, you'll notice that there's no poll in the description section, and that's because there's a special Patreon-only poll that I give my Patreon supporters that only they can add names to and vote on. So the next Out of My Element video will actually be the winner of that poll. You know, I've been slacking a lot lately. I want to make it up to those guys in whatever way that I can. So yeah, that's why that is happening. But in the description section for that next video will be a poll that you guys will be able to vote on. By the way, if you're a Patreon supporter of mine, just let me know what other perks you'd like to see me give. Drop some notes on the Patreon page. I always check those. But moving along, Zelooperz. I am not really familiar with him. I'd seen his name floating around a bit and I kept meaning to check him out, but I just never really got around to it. Plus, the people who were recommending him, they're people whose opinions I don't always take that seriously. Dudes whose breath always smells like craft beer, you know? And if you can't tell the difference between craft beer breath and like Miller High Life breath, yeah, we're not the same type of people and we run in completely different circles. But from what I can see, Zelooperz is a Detroit rapper who's associated with Bruiser Brigade. He's been around since like 2011. He's dropped a whole lot of music. So I'm glad to finally be checking him out. But Van Gogh's Left Ear starts off with Battery, and I instantly got a sort of hype Danny Brown feel. The beat is really loud, this kind of trap sort of beat that definitely hits really hard, some loud 808s and some kind of twisted horn sample, and it sounds great. And I like the way he approaches his raps on this song, and I really like this line: "War in my pen when I right my wrongs, going so hard when I fight my songs." But yeah, I think this song is pretty interesting. You know, I like the way he rides a beat. He has this really good energy about him. By the next song, which is the title track, Van Gogh's Left Ear, I kind of get a solid feel of what he's going for. You know, he has this really creative approach to rap. He rides a beat a bit offbeat, and his lyrics are funny, but they're also kind of witty. He has that sort of stream of consciousness approach the way Kool Keith did, in a way. Paranormal Snaptivity is one of my favorite songs on this project. First off, the beat is just crazy. It's dark and has some really nice drums and this bell sample. It has an almost old school kind of feel to it, and it features a couple of other dudes, and you know, I like them as well. And they're all on the same wavelength in terms of total left field kind of weirdo rap with odd flows, and the lyrics are really funny. But I love how these guys approach the track, man. And I especially liked RXK Nephew. He has a really weird rap style, but I like this line: "Ain't no boxing, AR hits the body, leave his ass tick-tocking." I really love the beat on Mechanic. It has this almost industrial feel to it. It's noisy, it's a bit harsh, but it still has a bounce to it. And I don't know, Zelooperz found his pocket here, but I really can't say I loved it exactly. It wasn't bad, you know, it worked, but there was nothing that really kept my attention in terms of competing with that beat. That beat definitely overpowered Zelooperz, and there was nothing mind-blowing or call-out worthy about the lyrics. Bash Bandicoon features Danny Brown, so I was really interested to see how they rock together. And first off, the beat is really bizarre. It sounds like it's sampling circus music or something. I think it's actually impressive that Zelooperz found a way to rap over this. And I also found this line pretty funny: "Going hard to me ain't optional, it's just all I know. They keep telling me I'm fire, so I stop, drop, and roll." And when Danny Brown came in, I did find myself a bit more interested in what was going on, and I think that's because the way he approached the track was a bit more appealing to my personal sensibilities. You know, I could actually follow the bars and the process as opposed to a Zelooperz who's a bit more all over the place with his flow. By the time it got to Other Side of the Mirror, I was kind of over it. You know, a lot of it started to run together. You know, there were really cool beats, but at the same time, there wasn't a lot of variety in the production. And the way he's rapping is interesting, but at the same time, it starts to get a bit samey. Until Dedicated, which was a little bit different. You know, the production was a bit smoother, a little bit sexier, you know, and it's still quirky, but it still had a bit of soul to it, unlike some of the other songs. And his approach to rhyming here was actually pretty interesting. He still has that weird inflection style, and there wasn't a lot to pay attention to lyric-wise for me, but it was still an interesting song. Don't Leave was a bit more compelling. The production was nice, nothing different or anything, but it was a bit more unique than some of the other songs on the project. And I liked his vocal approach here, where he was playing with the pitch shifting at the beginning. And you know, when he kind of switches up his rap style into that kind of sing rap thing, I think it actually works for him. I don't normally like that style at all, but he does it well. Again, the lyrics don't do anything at all for me here, but I know that that's not always the point. You know, sometimes it's just about vibing out, and I get that with this song. But when it gets to Always Wanted You, Zelooperz kind of sounds like Kodak Black in the way that he's just mumbling his verse. And I know a lot of folks love that approach, but I am not a fan at all of the way that sounds. I liked it when Jade Fox came in. I liked how the drums dropped out and it was more just the soundscapes and the bass sound. I think it sounded really, really dope. But all that said, I do find this an interesting listen. I feel like I've said interesting probably 40 times in this video. This is not necessarily an entertaining or enjoyable listen, but it's interesting nonetheless. I like that he has this left field approach to rapping that genuinely feels unique. You know, I can't listen to this and say that he sounds exactly like anyone else or that he's Biden or anything like that. He has a very, very, very unique style to rapping, and I like that almost every song is just straight rhyming over a beat. No tangible hooks, you know, just rapping. I love that sort of thing. I also like that a lot of the songs on here are rather short. For another rapper, I'd be bothered by this, as it would give me the impression of an unfinished album. But with Zelooperz, I think that this kind of off-the-wall, unfinished sound actually works for him. Now, is this something I'd return to? The answer is no. I don't see myself putting this back on for any reason. That's not saying it's bad, that's saying it's just not for me. There is a huge difference. On one hand, while this is unique, it sounds like something that would unmistakably come out in this era. You know, what he's doing and how it sounds really gives me the impression that it couldn't have come out in any other decade but this current one. On the other hand, it also takes me back to some of the weirdo side projects that some of my favorite rappers did back in the day, like Doom with King Ghidra, or Copyright with Power Bar Ernie, or Del the Funky Homo Sapien with Unicron. But yeah, if you're into kooky, kind of off-the-wall hip-hop, this is right up your alley, you know? But for me, I can recognize the uniqueness and the almost punk attitude he has towards rap, but it's just not sonically pleasing enough for me to listen to. So yeah, there's that, and that's gonna do it for this video. If you've listened to this album, let me know what you think about it down there in the comment section. And yeah, start thinking about what you think I should cover in the next video. But yeah, as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out, boy.